Fronzek sacked. After losing 3-1 to St. Pauli, Borussia Mönchengladbach has dismissed coach Michael Fronzek on Sunday evening. Former Borussia star Stefan Effenberg had previously voiced his displeasure about the team management and called for the club to take a stand and replace Michael Fronzek. That new brooms don't always sweep clean was also obvious in Stuttgart over the weekend. With Bruno Labbadia now in charge, Stuttgart lost 4-1 to Nuremberg and remain bottom but won on 19 points. Labbadia is Stuttgart's third coach this season. Energy saving in Schalke. Only the reserves appeared on the training ground on the Sunday morning after the 1-0 win against Freiburg. Schalke were never in danger of losing against a harmless Freiburg team who didn't look like breaking down the Schalke defense, where Benedikt Hövedes had a particularly good game. Of course, Freiburg weren't that strong, but perhaps it was also because we simply didn't let them play and we simply performed really well yesterday. The win in the Bundesliga should now motivate them for the upcoming Champions League matches. On Tuesday, Schalke traveled to Valencia for the first leg in the last 16.
Gerade in der Hinrunde haben wir auch gezeigt, dass diese Wettbewerbe.
Before the winter break, we showed that the two competitions were two kettles of fish. We were poor in the Bundesliga but play fantastically in the Champions League. The win will definitely be good for us, but it's not the yardstick for the game on Tuesday.
Maßstab für das Spiel am Dienstag.
In Valencia, Schalke will be looking to lay the foundations for the second leg in Gelsenkirchen on the 19th of March. If things continue as they are momentarily, then Michael Ballack's chances of making comeback in the German team don't look too rosy. With national coach Jogi Löw looking on, Ballack sat on the bench for the first 50 minutes of Leverkusen's 3-0 win in Frankfurt. He then spent the next 40 warming up without getting a run out. It obviously depends on how he plays over the next weeks and months. If that wasn't enough, a knee injury forced Ballack to miss team practice on the day after the win. Bayern Munich coach Louis van Gaal can again call on his top stars Arjen Robben and Frank Ribéry. Robben scored twice in the 4-0 win against Hoffenheim, and the other two were netted by Gomez and Müller. The wins enabled Leverkusen and Bayern to close the gap on leaders Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund themselves were packed back in the dying minutes in Kaiserslautern, and the 1-1 draw was their second game on the trot without a win. Their lead at the top over Leverkusen has now been trimmed a little, but it's still a massive 10 points. Borussia's coach Jürgen Klopp is not unduly worried, even though earlier in the week he pointed out that his team might run into difficulties. At the moment, the squad is lacking depth. It's not desperate, but we can't afford to lose too many players. We can play good football, so I'm confident. Neven Subotic is unavailable for the next games against informed St. Pauli after being shown 2 yellow cards. Leti didn't work wonders after all. Pierre Littbarski lost his first game as a Bundesliga coach, and Wolfsburg are still in danger of getting relegated. Before the game against Hamburg, Leti said, I'm the helper and I will try to free their minds, but then on Saturday there will be 11 players on the pitch. They will hopefully be a match for Hamburg. Wolfsburg's former coach Steve McLaren has been reflecting on the reasons for his sacking. In an interview with an English newspaper, he felt that alongside problems getting used to life in Germany, Dieter Hoeneß was also partly to blame for his lack of success. The Wolfsburg general manager has too big influence in the daily work. St. Pauli highly motivated for the derby. A 3-1 victory against Mönchengladbach has upped St. Pauli's confidence going into the away match against Hamburg on Wednesday. The match was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. The game will now kick off at 6:45 German time. Merkel has success in Milan. The German youngster Alexander Merkel is on track to win the Italian championship with AC Milan. Merkel played the full 90 minutes in AC's 4-0 win against Parma. Mertesacker criticizes mercenary attitude. Werder Bremen's defender Per Mertesacker has criticized the attitude of many Bundesliga players. Talking to the Bild am Sonntag newspaper, Mertesacker said that values like gratitude, respect and solidarity with one's club are important to him. The Bremen player's sentiments were sparked by the attempts of players at other clubs to force a move in the last transfer window.